Do you have a really hot take, Kassad? Do you have a good one?
I have a decent one. I have a good one.
Give me your best one.
The best one? All right. If Ocelot was the fucking G2 CEO, they would have both CS2 Major and a super team that Falcons do.
Oh!
100%.
Go on, make the case. It's already a great hot take. Make the case.
He wouldn't allow a bunch of shit to happen. Now look at the transfers they made. Like, bunch of transfers. Look at the team they have right now. My sub-take was that G2 is not even a tier 2 team at this point. They won't be a tier 1 till the end of the year. That's a sub-take considering, like... Well, we're going to
have to have an intervention about that tier 1 thing, because it's going to ruin the whole show.
Listen. They are worse than Liquid, and we don't consider Liquid good.
They're still top 10, aren't they? Come on.
Don't play on their fucking rankings. Like, I'm talking about reality. Fucking
They're still a top 10 team.
Who?
Team Liquid.
He's a barely top 10.
Yeah, but like...
but they're better than G2. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that, yes.
Yeah. And if you go man for man, it's like crazy. But the bottom line is like, do you think that if Ocelot was there, this type of lineup would be playing the major for G2? Right now,
I don't personally. I think they would have made loads of moves. I actually think they did the opposite to what Ocelot would have done. This era where they just keep players for like a season extra.
On top of that, listen. He wouldn't allow Monacy to leave.
Yep, that's a good one.
He would extend his contract on time, and he would convince him to stay, no matter what his brother agent or whoever is influencing him. Nico wouldn't go to Falcons, or wouldn't even consider going to Falcons. Yeah. Maybe he would consider, but he wouldn't go because Ocelot would convince him. He would brought him Kixan that he wanted as an IGL, and he would probably bought him another player like Falcons do in Kyosuke right now. So they would have the same team. They would play the majors on CS2 better and probably won one of them. Because it was happening all before Vitality got their, this magical lineup, going. Yeah. And overall, G2 would be at least 2 levels higher than they are right now if Ocelot was driving that ship still. And that the fact that he was cancelled, like, it's a fucking...
Also hasn't aged that well since, if you remember, guys, he was cancelled. He was cancelled like 5 minutes before everyone just allied with like literal regimes and cut people's heads off, So like that it just didn't age that well, did it? It was sort of the end of the cancel culture in many ways, wasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't even do anything. That's the fucking...
He just did a tweet, mate. That's it. Just did a tweet in it. Is that it? Yeah, go on, Bowie. You go first, mate.
Okay, where to start with this one? Well, I mean, there was.
Are you against it in principle?
Right. No, because I remember what I was gonna say. I like how Kassad says at the end they would be 2 levels above if they had Ocelot right now, which means that they're tier 3 in his world.
Okay,
it is tier 1. Okay, 1, tier 2, and 3 world. No, that's just me nitpicking. No, I mean Ocelot was on when they signed Monacy. He left in September of the same year. Before he left, they also got JKS and Hooksy, and since then, I would say that it's been pretty much a series of poor moves. I think then it was... Well, the Swanee move actually was probably the only one that kind of worked out when he wasn't there, in a weird way. Like, it's weird. It's weird that it's such a minor one, but it's one where he did win trophies with them. Beyond that, well, Petsa joined after Ocelot was actually let go. And then that's when things got really crazy, where they benched JKS, they got Nexa, they signed Taz, they released they benched Nexa, they got Malbs, which is probably, in some ways, it's probably Petsa's best move ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got Snacks after that, and then they got Heavy God. But I mean,
and now they have Hades.
Yeah, and now they have Hades.
I know it's a stand-in, but it's a major. It's like end the full season. What I'm trying to say is like this lineup looks like some sort of Honoris fucking remake of Snacks and Taz.
Honoris, the old Honoris lineups, which were just absolutely.
Yeah, when's D-Ha joining? When's he joining?
Probably after fucking.
Get Kyler in. Give me a break. I know.
Goofy. We need Goofy. G2 Goofy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Any more?
I mean, that's just it's just a real. I mean, okay. I don't have anything else other than.
By the way, I actually think this is a banger hot take because first of all, it is a crazy hot take because he did just grant them 2 extra majors. I didn't even point that out on the Z1 one. Notice on the Z1 one, I did what you fans never do. I actually listened to what someone said and accepted their premises to listen to their reasoning. By the way, the idea you're just all going to sit there and go, but if Z1 wins 3 more majors, bro, you won 1. He barely won 1. You're already giving him imaginary majors, then applying it to today and making him better as a result. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, ask people like Nico and Simple, it's really hard to win majors, mate. Like, you don't just, by the way, there's no such thing as a guaranteed major. Like, Liquid showed it. I made an article, everyone disagreed, you're all wrong. There's no team ever in the history of the majors went into a major with a better winning streak. Bro, they'd won like 20 fucking series in a row, something insane, all the events in a row. Like, even they didn't win. Like, if you ever look, I once looked this up, something like a third of the time the favourite wins the major. It's really hard to win majors. There's no like, by the way, you could say that about any great player in any sport, but if my player just had 3 more championships, he'd be the GOAT. Yes, and as the old saying goes, if my uncle had fucking a fanny, then he'd be my aunt, wouldn't he? I use the English slang there, but whatever. You understand it, Americans.
We have a similar one.
Figure it out. You understand it. So anyway, I would just say this, right? The reason why I actually think this take is good is because I actually do think the key detail here is if you know Ocelot, aka Carlos, he just had the vision that you want of sort of like an owner or a technical director in a sport where they won't let things remain bad for too long. Like, here's the difference. He was there when they made the Huxley move. By the way, I think the Huxley move was a stopgap move. I mean, it's implied within the squad they would have fired him in 2023, I think, as if they hadn't won Cologne. I don't think he ever would have gotten that far. I think essentially he would have won Blast World Finals. Maybe he'd have won kind of, and I think during the slump then, at the off, I think that's when Carlos would have bumped him out and he would have brought someone else in. By the way, here's why I agree with Kassad, because I also think that he would have fixed the IGL situation. I think Huxley would have had his time and won an event or 2, and then I think he would actually already, by the way, he tried it with Alexi B, he would have done something similar. He would go and speak like me and Richard, taking our advice, and our advice would be the same. When Alexi was available, I told him, look, he's just the obvious person to get because you need a great IGL to go with people like you've got, right? Similarly, I think already G2 would have signed like a Shui or a Kixan because they're obviously the players we think of like probably could fit their style of team better. And I think if you put those players with Monacy and Nico when they're popping off at the end of CS2 and CS2, they'd be unbelievable. That's like majors right there, surely. Like, that's a mega roster. And I'm with you as well, Kassad. The key thing I know, this part I know, mate, I know Carlos wouldn't have fucked up the Nico Monacy thing. Whoever did that, whether it was the owner, the Alan guy, whether it was whoever did that, that is one of the worst GM jobs I have ever seen in esports for 2 reasons. One, you never ever let Monacy go. Like, the worst thing is Falcons, because they're so willing to spend money with no regard for business, they've made that move look decent, Kassad, because they're paying him millions on the way out. Carlos, I can tell you, because he did this in League of Legends. In League of Legends, Perks came to him, one of his greatest players ever, and was like, I don't want to play this role, because he'd role swapped in their team. And he used to play mid lane, which is where the best player, Caps, played at the time. So because you can't obviously 2 people play the same role, Carlos was like, right, well, I've got you under contract for a year, so I'll sell you. It's okay, if you want to leave, I'll sell you. And he went and sold him, if you don't know, for something like $6 million to Cloud9. Right? That is what he would have done. Even if he just sold him, Kassad, if Monacy told him, or Nico, like, I have to leave, he just sold him, like, with a year on his contract for, like, $5 million to Falcons. So he'd have even done a better job there. And by the way, if you get that $5 million, here's the difference. In theory, in the server, you can't replace Nico and Monacy. If you give me $5 million, you do know I could just buy Donk and some other people. Like, you actually could replace him in that scenario, even if they want to leave. And I'm with you. I think neither would have left. I think Nico would go, I've got Carlos to build my team. I've actually said this the whole time. One of the reasons I disagree with you guys that Nico just went for money, I think Nico went because he doesn't want to have to think about his team. He wants to just sit and play CS and someone else build the roster. So I think Nico would stay in the team. And by the way, I'm with you. I think he would find a way to make Monacy think of himself as a G2 player like Caps and stay forever. So I think those 3 things, get the IGL and keep the 2 stars. I think that alone could have given you all the majors, mate. I'm with you.
I think you're also right when you say like he didn't just go for the money. Obviously, he went for part of for the money, but also he didn't want to be like thinking about the fucking lineup.
No, he wants that drama, exactly.
These fucking bad shit decisions, and like he doesn't want that. No. If you talk to him, you'll fucking find out yourself. But the thing is, like Ocelot was good in maintaining those contracts.
Yes.
Like he when Nico's first contract was expiring, And then they extended in the middle of it. I remember, like, it was...
By the way, Kassan, this is famously what Carlos does in League of Legends. It's why his team was, like, unbeatable. What he would do is he would never, ever let a contract run out, whether he wants to keep you or not. What he would always do like this is re-sign you a year before the end. Then it's his choice whether you go. And if you go, he sells you for the most to whoever he wants. By the way, there's another thing, Kassan. He doesn't sell you to his rival. He'll sell you to, like, some other squad. Like, you can go to, like, the fourth best team. You're not going to his main rival.
The thing is, like, he was hands-on when it comes to contracts.
Definitely, yeah.
There was no delay. He would be calling you at midnight.
Yes.
He would be calling you at 3 a.m. if needed. There is no, like, 9 to 5. There is no, like, woke shit. There is no, like, he's going to get the job.
No, by the way, I know. Put it this way, Kassan. In that sense, he's actually like, you hear those stories about Arsene Wenger and Ferguson, where they're like going to the ground and meeting the kid and talking to the dad.
Yes, I'll go in the fucking tree, and that's how the business is done.
Notice how, when you saw these interviews with this G2 CEO, the most alarming part was he almost had the vibe of, like, and we actually didn't even know Modesty would leave, and you're like, how have you not had that conversation like a million times?
I wasn't fucking aware that Nico had such impact.
Isn't it? Yeah.
What the fuck are you even doing then?
I know. Yeah.
What is your job? Like, if I'm the CEO, if you are the Carlos or Arsene Wenger or fucking whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, any example. I'm not sending good afternoon, my name is whatever, like, respectfully, Carlos, whatever the fuck. I'm calling you.
Yeah.
On the phone. If I'm allowed, I will call you. If I'm not allowed, I'll call your agent. 3 a.m.
Oh, he would also, by the way, Kassan, he would also have a personal relationship with all these star players, I'll guarantee you. He wouldn't just be sending an email on the GM or something.
Yeah, I need to go to Bosnia to fucking sit on a plane and land there and just fucking talk. I'll do it.
Yes.
Because this is like the future of my, organization in the CS division, right?
Yeah.
That's a generational player. Somebody and then that player will be like, oh my god, these guys invested.
Absolutely.
This potato from G2, he went out. I get the point. I respect the attempt to go and just speak to the fans through the podcast. But he chose the wrong podcast. That's one thing, and he chose wrong people to talk to, because there were no hard questions. There were not really any.
No. By the way, this is why, if you notice, I always bring up, whenever people talk about Modesty leaving G2, I'll phrase it a different way and maybe it'll hit differently this time. If you have a whole 2 or 3 years to talk to Modesty and Nico in a private room with no one else there, no one else to convince, and you can't convince them to stay in G2, how are you going to convince a guy who isn't in G2 to join G2 and be a superstar? Like, I don't think you can. I think essentially, by not retaining those two, I now never believe I'll ever see Ziwu, Donks ever play in G2. I'll never see it. I'll only ever see, like, up-and-comers after trying.
The thing is, like, Nico was there, what, 3-4 years?
Ages, since
you
like
have
2020 or something,
exclusivity to, like, do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yep. Offer that, like, you have the money, and you would make more of the deals that you would get by signing this player.
Yep.
The deals that you would get based off his, brand and the name and whatever, then you will be getting it for selling him.
Yes.
But obviously he didn't just go because, the money. He went because he doesn't want to be associated with that mess over there. Now, Maui said Petsa this. I don't know if it's Petsa all the way. Maybe it's that Julian guy. Maybe it's that guy, the CEO. But the CEO seems clueless. Like, it's fucking nonsense there. And I'm not surprised that he left after that interview. That he openly says, like, I didn't know that Nico had. That's like saying I didn't know that fucking LeBron has an influence in the Cavaliers or Miami or Lakers later on, or Steph Curry in Golden State Warriors. Yeah, what do you think?
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.